Roar!
Ew. Mummy by The Gamerator 10. It was a nice, clear, sunny day in Cloudsdale. The floating city was bustling. Every pony was enjoying their day. Nothing could go wrong. Spitfire, captain of the Wonderbolts, a legendary Pegasus flight team, was simply strolling through the streets, humming to herself. She was on her way to the market, saddleback in tow. She was to pick up some apples. She was starting to run low on food. She thought to herself, "Beautiful day out. I feel as though nothing, absolutely nothing, can ruin this day." Spitfire trotted along with a positive atmosphere. This positivity halted, however, when a young blue Pegasus filly with a rainbow mane and tail was standing in front of her, staring into Spitfire's eyes, bearing a simple-minded smile upon her face.
Mommy!
She called. Spitfire looked around. She'd assumed this filly was calling out to a pony behind or above her.
Mommy!
The filly repeated. Spitfire bore a confused look, raising one eyebrow and her mouth agape slightly. She pointed at herself for the filly. All the filly did was stare at Spitfire with a cute little smile. Spitfire became concerned. Where was this little one's mother?
Mommy!
Spitfire thought nothing of it and just continued along. Her stomach growled at her, demanding she makes haste for the market. She thought aloud.
What's up with that? Why was that little filly calling me Mommy? I never had children before. What's going on?
Whatever the answer, Spitfire closed her eyes and assured herself that maybe this whole caper would be easier to decipher after some lunch. She opened her eyes again, only to be greeted by a smiling blue filly.
Mommy!
The filly said, sitting down. Spitfire double-took. Wasn't the filly behind her? All the filly did was bore that simple, cute little smile and stare.
I'm not gonna lie, that smile is extremely adorable,
Spitfire thought. Then something happened that the yellow-orange Pegasus never foresaw. The filly clung to Spitfire's front right leg, holding it gently and closing its eyes, keeping that little smile. Spitfire couldn't but smile herself.
Mommy!
The filly said once more. That seemed to add to the adorable scene. A few ponies noticed, and when Spitfire snapped out of her trance, they cooed, "Ah!" Spitfire realized she had to get out of there, not to mention she was starving. She decided to fly. She flapped her wings and took to the air. The blue filly slipped right off her leg. The filly started to cry. By now the crowd had broken up, so no pony witnessed the filly crying. Spitfire's ears caught the sound, and as she flew higher, the good part of her conscience made her reconsider leaving the filly in the dust. She flapped her wings slower and slower and began to descend. She was back on the ground.
Hey, chin up, don't cry,
Spitfire said. This seemed to comfort the filly, who proceeded to cling to her leg once more.
Mommy!
She replied in a loving and forgiving voice. Spitfire giggled.
All right, let's go to the market. I'm sure your mother is there,
she said. The filly gave her a confused look. Spitfire commented,
Let's just go to the market.
She placed the filly on her back and trotted along to her destination. The Cloudsdale market wasn't very busy. It was, after all, 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Ponies were shouting, "Asparagus! If you care about asparagus, get your asparagus here!" And,
"Cherries! I cherish the moment you buy some cherries!"
among other businesses rambling and advertisements. Spitfire could do some more shopping later. Her priorities were 1. gets some apples, and 2. finds his filly's mother.
Mommy!
The filly cried out, pointing to a cupcake stand.
Fine, we'll get you some cupcakes.
Spitfire sighed. Each cupcake was 3 bits each. Spitfire got 2, one for her, one for the mysterious filly. The filly munched on her vanilla chocolate cupcake with small, almost rhythmic bites. She thought the filly would get lost in it as she sat down at a nearby table, enjoying her plain vanilla one, which she consumed in 4 bites. It felt good to ease some of her hunger pains, and it was made better with the filly's adorable style of eating. When all was said and done, the filly had cupcake remains all over her face. Spitfire giggled and got a napkin to wipe it off, while also wiping the residue off. She helped the filly back onto her back and approached the apple stand.
A dozen apples, please,
she said to the sales pony. That'll be 24 bits, madame, he remarked. Spitfire gave the proper sum and proceeded to walk away. While walking, she noticed that the spot the filly occupied on her back was weightless and vacant.
Celestia, please tell me she didn't fall off.
She sobbed. She turned around, afraid to look. Her fears soon turned to astonishment when she realized the filly was flying. Amateurish, but impressive for the filly's assumed age nonetheless.
This kid's, what, 4 and she's able to fly? I wasn't able to fly until 6.
She sought once more.
Mommy! Mommy!
The filly called out once more, clearly with the purpose of making Spitfire watch her. All the latter did was stare at the little tricks the filly was doing, speechless, her mouth widely agape.
Wow,
she remarked.
Kiddo, you got style.
From this response, the blue filly beamed an enormous smile, clearly pleased with the response.
Okay, now let's get you home,
Spitfire remarked. Before she could even begin walking, a similarly maned Pegasus as a filly rushed up to her.
Oh, thank you so much for finding my little Dashie, Miss Spitfire. I've been looking high and low for her,
the mare said, relieved and pleased.
Dashie, don't ever go about without Mommy from now on, okay? Mommy! Wait a second, Dashie?
Spitfire asked.
Oh, I'm sorry. This is Rainbow Dash, my daughter. Sorry if she caused any disturbance. She tends to do her own thing, you know,
the mare replied.
She called me Mommy and hugged my leg,
Spitfire remarked.
Don't get me wrong, it was extremely cute and adorable, but I have trouble wrapping my head around it. Oh, she likes hugging things and Mommy is the only word she knows. Oh, just keep an eye on her from now on, okay?
Spitfire requested.
I will. Thank you, Miss Spitfire,
the mare said and flew off.
Remember that, Spitfire?
Rainbow Dash asked her mentor.
Just make sure that history lesson doesn't get out to the public, okay?
Spitfire requested.
Sure thing, Mommy.
Dash giggled. Spitfire returned with a bemused look.
Yeah, I'll go home now,
the blue Pegasus replied and flew off. And at the end of this video, of course, I have to thank all of you amazing patrons. Without you, this would not have been possible. Cloudgazer, Exton Lobry Cutie, Morgan Johnson, Dracos Dragwing, Martin Uela, Eagle Eye 9, Joseph Perry, Isenlin the Frenchy Brony, Tuxedo Mike, Torben Anderson, Elist Johnson, Jason Thiese, Paul Hockensa, John Greenhoof, Gearlight, Dyslexic Character Sheets, Ricard Broström, Asher Sens, Midnight Bonbon, Shatterstar, Rowan Yote, TV Killer, Chili Breath, The Blobfish, Mikola Vladimir, Matthew, Peter Coulthard, William Panagopoulos, Apollo the Protege, Rampage I Lost Peppermint, Michael Jones, David Arva, Logan Ruard, Astral Mist, Rosen Knight, Coffee Sage, Comic Sans Pony, Theo Sword, Kane, Snowfire, Pudis, Typer Vader's Lair, Andrew, Bangin, Marcus Michaela, Nami, Kaiser Cat 9, Blue Paw Wolf, Dion Basseri, Rowdy Yates, John Mayos III, Chroma Slip, Nuke Commander, and Scarlet Waterbolt 29.